Hey guys.
Hi, everybody. Wow, I just died in the corner for some reason. Hello.
Hey everybody. So, welcome to the Nerdy Archives.
Yes, welcome.
And a little drum roll for us. I don't know
La,
what
la,
that
la, la,
does.
la, la, la. There we go.
Um we are officially a year into this.
Woohoo!
At least for our first two episodes. We did take a very long, like 6-month break from it, but we technically uploaded our first two episodes in the first 2 or 3 weeks of May last year at this time. So,
Yes.
yeah, we've been doing this for a year.
It's crazy to think about, actually.
It really is. I was in such a different place a year ago.
Same.
I don't necessarily know if it was better or
Oh,
worse,
oh my god,
but
wait. We were both in different positions than we are now.
yes. Should we do a little comparison kind of thing?
Sure.
I was a full-time HBC stalker. Actually, I wasn't full-time. I'm sorry. I was not a full-time, but almost full-time HBC stalker. Um, my current company hadn't taken over yet. I wasn't working under the nightmare boss. I was working for another nightmare boss, but um, I, God, like I was still talking to M as like a like full-time like best friend position kind of thing.
Yeah.
I actually was still struggling to rekindle my friendship with Dumpling at that time. Um like life is really crazy.
That's so weird to think about because like how you are now.
Yeah. And like we were just actually kind of rekindling our friendship too.
Mhm.
Like it's really weird how life changes. Yeah, and it's not all been good. I mean, I got COVID in
Yeah.
June, like, of last year, um, nightmare boss, like, just blah, but overall, like, things, I guess, personally have gotten better, which is nice to look back on. Yeah, and what about you?
I was a full-time PM, like a project manager.
Mhm.
Uh, what else happened last year?
Hmm, you know, I don't think you had even thought really hard about having kids yet. I know that's not
Yes, no, yes, that's true. That's true.
I know you were,
Um,
like, thinking, but you hadn't, like, concreted it until I think after, like, this summer.
yeah, I think after my
Which
birthday, I was like, yeah, I want kids.
yeah, I think I think oh, we also both turned 30
That's true.
since we
That's true.
we both had our 30th. Um, yeah, but I think that's one thing. That's one other thing.
Um, I'm sorry. It's so hard to think
You're
about that
okay.
far back. Like,
It's okay. No, it's okay. I get it.
I guess, yeah. And then this year, I've been doing a lot of housework.
Mhm. You have.
I painted my bathroom. I just ripped up all the carpet from the room that's going to be my office. I have a really bad callus on my finger because they went
Mhm.
crazy with the staple gun, so I had to like pull them out with pliers, and that was not fun.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that room's gonna be redone. I'm actively trying to have a kid, not yet. Hasn't happened yet. I got a new role. I'm a marketing operations manager now, which I loved.
Mhm.
Not so much anymore. Um, but that's for our mental health check-in.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
um, we talk like almost every fucking day now, which is great. I love it.
Yeah, it's honestly probably one of the biggest factors that I think this podcast definitely kind of set a
Mm-hmm.
fire under us because we've, like we say all the time, we've been friends since high school, but we've gone through a lot of different phases. And I think we've finally kind of reached a stasis that we're both happy with
Yeah.
because I'm super needy. I'm very aware of this.
That's
But
not a bad thing.
oh, but it really can be. But um even if you don't respond every day, I know that you're not going to ignore the
No, yeah,
messages.
no. I feel so bad because like I get caught up in like either work or like
Oh yeah.
now doing house renovations. I feel bad when I don't respond right away. It's not that I'm ignoring you. I just
Oh yeah, no.
I'll eventually get back. I've
Yeah.
to be honest, I've always been bad at that.
Yeah. It's always probably been a point of contention,
Oh,
honestly.
absolutely, 100%.
But no, I think 30 kind of, as much as I try not to put like, as big a emphasis as like, oh, 30 is like when you're really an adult and like your life change. It's solidified a lot of things.
It is kind of though.
Yeah.
Like, let's see.
Which is gonna get sad in the mental health, but I'm trying to decide if I'm going to save the blunt of it for next week.
Oh, because next
Um,
week's the behind.
yes, but I feel like if I don't talk about it this week, I'll either have moved past it because my emotions really do run that fast through me, or I can just like actually talk through them and then next week I can have some clarity about the matters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of trying to see how I'm going to feel once we get to the mental health. So it could be sad. It could not be sad. We shall see.
I mean, I think you could do it. I think you can do both, right? Like you can talk about it this week and also
Hmm.
who cares? It's our fucking podcast, so we can do whatever the fuck
It's
we feel
true.
like.
It's
Um,
true.
let's see what else. I have an addiction to making models again, which is nice
Yes.
because it's been a hot minute. As you can
Yes.
tell, I have new hair right now. It's just color,
I have
okay?
noticed. I
It's
have
just
noticed, but it's very cute.
it's just hair color.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if I like it, to be honest.
I
So,
like it.
do
I like
you?
it, but
Okay,
I
okay.
I do.
Then I'll keep it. Then I'll keep it.
Okay. Okay.
That's about it though. Like, I mean, to be fair, a lot has changed. I just can't. My brain, I can only remember last week, barely.
Yeah.
But
But
like,
other things are subtle. Like you don't think about all the changes you go through in a year. Like it's not rent. You don't actually pay attention to every cup of coffee you drink? Like
it's, we're just gonna reference Red now because of fucking earlier.
uh-huh. Yeah,
I
yeah, we
love
are.
it. I love it.
But yeah, so I it's like things have also gotten worse but gotten better, and I guess that's literally just the nature of life.
You can't ever have anything good without the bad too. It's so
Yeah.
annoying. Just can we once win in our lives? Shit.
At least for like a little while. I feel that.
Yeah, like just for like
A
a
week. I'd
week.
take a
A
week.
week would be great.
I would take a week.
Literally, just a week would be nice.
But yeah, not to get super emotional, but like I think this podcast kind of changed my life.
I'm proud of us for keeping consistent.
Mhm.
I know that like it's been spotty, like we've missed a week literally, but that was just because geez, that week fucking sucked for the both of us.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Mhm.
sometimes we're gonna need a break, but at least we're back to it, you know? Like we didn't give
Yep.
up.
Nope, we did not. And that's what matters.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So that was kind of the pre mental health check. Um, but this episode, we probably should say what this episode's about.
Oh yes, yes. Do
So this episode is about OCs, original characters. I'm gonna be real honest. Most of these are just fan fiction OCs. That's what I've been into the last 3 years since I got back into writing, but that doesn't make them any less valid. I am a fan fiction person. It's
there's
a
nothing
valid
wrong with that.
form. It's a valid form of art, god damn it. I will defend fan art and fan fiction with my life. So yeah, we're just going to talk OCs, more me than her, but she does have a few that link up with quite a few of mine. We have collaborated quite a bit in the past.
And I have one that I'm actually,
Hmm.
he's like a complete OC.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm going to talk
Yep.
about him too.
Yes, yes. I'm excited about that one actually.
Yeah, I haven't told you.
No, you haven't.
I've been waiting for this episode to tell you.
I'm very excited. So yeah, so it's just gonna be a lot of like fangirling over, characters that we're attached to, but maybe you'll get attached to too. That was cringy. Okay, so
No,
let's.
I liked it.
Okay, so mental health check-in time. Uh, I always let you go first, so why don't you go first?
Are you sure about that? I say that every time. Oh my god. Okay,
Yes, you do.
so
You're consistent. You're very consistent.
once again this week, this fucking oh my god. So once again, I'm still dealing with one of female coworkers' bullshit campaigns that I want
Mm-hmm.
just to be fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so she set up a meeting, an in person, she set this up, an in person meeting to go over how to write the documents correct, right? So, like, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, good on her, right? Like, I was gonna come in anyway. It's Friday. Like, I go in on Fridays. It's fine. Um, and she made my other coworker come in. Mind you, he hasn't been in the office since COVID started.
Well,
It's
shit.
been 3 fucking years. So I felt so bad because like you said, I was already gonna go because it's Friday. I go in on Fridays. It's empty. It's quiet. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, 11 o'clock rolls around and she messages. She set this meeting up for 1 o'clock. 11 rolls around and she's
Yep.
like, "Hey, my washing machine flooded. I woke up to water all over my apartment. The maintenance guys are coming." I'm like, okay, one, why the fuck are you waking up at 11? Because we start work at 9.
Right.
And two, I was like, okay, like, do you think you'll make it by 1? And she's like, I don't know. So I messaged my male coworker because I don't want to name drop. I feel so bad.
Right. I feel that though.
I'm going to call him M. Okay.
Okay.
So I message M on the side and I'm like, dude, this can't keep getting pushed back. Like,
Right. It needs to
she
happen.
she needs this training more than I do. I am going to sit in on the training because I don't know everything, right? Like I can learn shit too.
Mm-hmm.
And he messages me back like, "Don't worry, I'm still coming in." I was like, "Well, there's no point into you, like for you to come in if she's not coming in, right? Like I feel bad." He's like, "Well,
Right.
too late. I'm already on my way." I was like, "Fuck. Okay." Mind you, this is my first time. Sorry, I had to switch
You're okay.
positions. This is my first time meeting him in person.
Mm-hmm.
So he's so awkward. He's such a nice guy, but he's so awkward in person. It's
Oh.
so funny. I love it. Anyway,
I have a soft spot for awkward people.
he's so fucking awkward. So he comes in and like doesn't know where I'm sitting, right? And he texts me like, "What seat are you sitting in?" And I tell him, and he like walks the complete opposite fucking way. And I thought it was him because he looked like he was looking for someone. So I like wave and he's like, "This is remotely nowhere near where you said." I was like, "Look at the signs, dude. They're seat signs.
There's
I don't
signs.
understand." So Lisa, I felt really bad. He's like, "It's fine. Like I already needed my computer to get worked on. It's chill." So
Yes.
it's 12:30 and he's like, "Do you think she's coming?" I was like, "No.
No.
I don't think she's coming." But before that, he made a fucky wucky. Ah, okay. So I don't like liars, right?
Yeah.
There's no point in fucking lying, especially
Yeah.
when things I don't fucking care about and I didn't ask about, right?
Right.
So he asked me how I feel about her, right? And I was like, well, to be honest with you, I'm doing all of her work. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm doing all of her work for her. Like, she'll ask me for help, but then I end up just having to do it because she like
Mm-hmm.
vanishes for no reason, right?
Right.
So he was like, well, that's not fair to you, blah, 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 blah. Pretty much like we can switch like what you do and what she does, but there might be a pay discrepancy. And I looked at him and was like, excuse
Mm,
me?
mm,
He's like, what's your role? Are you a are you a senior? I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm just an associate. It pissed me off.
mm.
So I'm like, why the fuck am I doing her work then?
Right.
Anyway, back to the lying thing. Sorry, I got off on a tangent.
Oh, you're okay.
Back to the lying thing. He was like, she's like never online. I'm like, no, to be honest with you, she's not. She's always away. I was like, I know she's going through some personal life stuff, like without trying to like tell him.
Right.
But
Right.
this, she told me all of this. Like, if you go back and I'm sure I've ranted about this.
I'm pretty sure you have.
She like told me about her boyfriend, like how they broke up because he never had time for her. Like she broke up with him. M told me that she told him that her boyfriend had cancer and that's why they broke up. He
Wow.
he broke up with her. So I'm already pissed off about the pay. And now I'm even
Mhm.
more pissed off that she felt the need to lie. Like I didn't even ask to know any of that. Like just what the fuck? Why
Right.
what is the point of that? So I'm like, okay, cool. She's a pathological liar. I kind of already knew that with her whole my washing machine broke thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so I personally feel like if I'm already doing her fucking work, she should go.
Mhm.
I don't she's a nice person. However, I'm sick of doing her fucking work and I want to be paid for it.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
she can absolutely fucking leave. It could just be the two of us because it's basically just the two of us anyway.
Right.
And I can get paid her wages.
Right.
I'm just I'm just saying. So that was my
Yeah.
Friday. So I felt I'm such a little shit talker because I'm so fucking mad about it. I messaged my other coworker.
Hey, we all do it.
I'm gonna
Trust me.
call her AA. She's the real OG. Okay, I love that
Mhm.
bitch. I messaged her. I was like, hey. So I like pretty much told her everything. She's like, excuse me. She's like, I already kind of like figured as much about her, but like now it just confirms it. Like we could use that money for other resources. She's literally not doing anything. I was like, I know. She's like, I'm not trying to talk shit.
Right.
I'm like, oh girl, I am talking shit. I'm pissed.
Right. Ooh, sorry, big yawn.
No, it's fine. That's pretty much it. I'm just a shit talker. I was just talking shit to
No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
and I was like, dude, we need to go to the bar. We need to get drunk, and we need to just let it fucking rip, dude. but, but yeah, so
Yeah.
that's it. That was my week. So now I'm not gonna do her work anymore. I'm just gonna let my boss fire her, and I just don't fucking care anymore. I'll still
Hey,
I'll still respond to people. I'll still like be like, yeah, I'm sorry that she's not around, but like I'm not doing it for her.
right. As you shouldn't.
So yeah, that was my week. I'm excited about
Okay.
next week because I'm just gonna fucking ignore the dumb bitch.
You're like, I am blissfully happy with the fact of decisions I have made.
You do not exist to me anymore.
You don't even exist to me.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, yes, I'm off my soapbox. That is it. I love you.
Okay.
I hate going first because I always like fucking
No, you're okay. It gives me time to think. And
fair.
plus then I bring it down and then we bring it back up with the topic.
Fair enough. Okay.
Okay. Um, so positive things. Let's go positive things first. One of my coworkers retired finally. It's a good thing. Like it's a coworker I like. We'll call her B.
B.
Um, she is like she has been like a buddy of mine since I first started there.
Hmm.
Like just like she has her issues. She has her issues. We're not going to list what those issues are.
But she's got
Um,
issues.
she's got issues, as in like lifestyle, what she believes in issues. Um, but like I ain't her best friend. We just like support each other with what we do. Like distance. Um,
Mhm.
Plus I live in a small town. I really have very little choice about the people I have to associate with. Anyways, generally, genuinely a okay person. Well, she retired quietly. Literally, her last shift was on Friday. She told nobody other than her her department leader and then, like, every person that, like, she saw on her way out, but didn't want to party, didn't want anything. She just wanted to leave.
Just bye.
Yeah, just punch out quietly and go. And I'm happy for her. She deserves it. You know, she's been working for 30 plus years at our place of work.
Mhm.
Like, she deserves it. Um, what else? Um, there is other things. It's just they kind of always slip my mind until oh, M and I are continuing to just be like very casually good friends.
That's
Uh,
good, though.
she gave me her new number to text her anytime. Um, because I was actually it actually leads to the kind of sad stuff. I was having a little bit of like a anxiety spiral at work, or I was trying not to. And she was like, "Just talk to me, like, just let it out." Like, she when you have a friendship with someone, even if it dissolves and even if it's awkward, they still know who you are.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
absolutely.
Like, she knows when something's wrong. I can't really hide it. I'm not very good at hiding when something's wrong either. And she was like, "Just, like, let it out." And then after I told her what was going on, just wrote I know her name, her new number on a receipt paper and gave it to me and said, "Just text me anytime." So, things are okay with in that department. I'm content with that. Um, I guess, like, sad, but not as sad what leads up to this. It was either Wednesday or Thursday. I was bagging for K. There's 2 Ks. There's 2 Ks with the same K name. There's a male K and a female K. Male K is really nice. He's a little kooky, but he's likable. He's like the
Fair.
kooky uncle,
Okay,
kind
okay.
of. Um, he taught piano for, like, 30 plus years. He's very interesting. Um, Me and him were working together, and this guy came through my line. And he had okay, you'll know what I'm talking about. Dad had the little shields on the side of his glasses because he worked in maintenance. Do you remember that were they screwed onto the wings of his glasses?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
The little plastic shields, right?
Mhm.
This guy had them. And I asked him, like, "Hey, do you work in maintenance?" And he kind of goes, like, "I just do a lot of, like, woodwork and steel work. Like, not maintenance so much, but, like, everything I do, I need the eye protection." And he leaves, and I just start crying
Aw.
because he he looked like a thinner version of dad.
Oh, no.
My dad had a big old Santa belly, for anyone who's curious why I say a thinner version. My dad had a big old Santa belly, like, but, like, he was wearing, like, the pocket T-shirt and the glasses with the little, shields on them. And I was just like I was trying to keep it together so bad, and, like, male K was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm okay, I just need a minute." And he's like, and I was, like, trying because 'cause I'm trying really hard, to be professional, obviously, like,
Yeah.
I need this job, and I like this job, and I'm with customers more now than my previous job, so it's a little higher stress, when it comes to keeping up appearances.
Yeah.
Um, but, like, he's like, "I'm gonna talk to you when we're done here." And we check out a couple other customers, and I'm trying my damnedest. I'm, like, losing the battle here, like, I'm openly crying at this point. And basically tells me this story about when his father passed away. He learned about his father's brother that was estranged, and he
Mhm.
searched down his estranged uncle, and, like, they ended up being, like, very close after, and the first time he met his uncle, he thought it was his dad, like, it looked exactly like his dad, and he, like, cried, and I was just like, it was really nice of him to share that story with me.
Yeah, like, that's sweet that he's like, "I get it, girl," you know?
Yeah, it was really really it was one of those moments where I was like, "This is why I believe in people," you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and Friday?
Mhm.
Friday was, like, really good. Yesterday was really good because my new boss S, good boss S, pulled me aside, like, literally, like, held my arm, pulled me aside,
Oh, lord.
and when but it was a good reason. She's like, "I am so happy you came up front. You are doing a great job."
See, and that's the kind of management we like.
And I don't know if y'all can tell by now, but I really enjoy getting praised.
I mean, same.
It kind of, it makes it worth it. And that entire rest of my shift, I was a perky little golden retriever. But yeah, Friday was a good day. It was a good day. Um, so okay, now we're gonna get a little down. We're gonna get a little emotional. Hopefully I don't sob as much as I have been this week over this stuff. But we'll go with it. How about that?
Okay.
Okay.
Judgment
So
free zone here.
31 is coming in 10 days, guys. I will be 31 in 10 days. I'm already crying.
Oh no, it's okay. Let it out, baby. Let it out.
Um, and I couldn't figure out why I was so upset. But then I realized I am no longer following, or after 10 days from now, I will no longer be following the path that I thought I would be as a kid. Because, like, I thought I would follow how my parents' life went, like my mother specifically, because you follow your preferred parent.
Mhm.
Like, I loved my dad, don't get me wrong, I talk about him all the time, but, looked up to my mom my entire life, still do. And, she got married, I think at 27 to my dad, had me when she was 28 or 29, I don't remember. The ages are roughly that was the right age. And then I thought it was 31. No, she had just turned 32 before she had my brother, but she was pregnant when she was 31. And I just realized, yeah, those goals I can't follow it anymore. Like, all of them have passed.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
You are your own person.
I know, I know.
You can follow your own life because guess what? If I would have followed in my mom's footsteps, I would have been pregnant at 18, married at 19 to an abusive asshole. I would have have been a cheater. You know what I mean? Like, don't fuck
I,
that.
I, I know. But, and this, I don't know if you remember this video, because we weren't, I don't think, technically talking at the time. In 2013, I was kind of a vlogger, a little bit. I was like a YouTube book tuber kind of thing and lifestyle, whatever. And I made this video. It was like 50 questions about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked back on it like a year or two ago, and my mom overheard me listening to this video. And she didn't mean anything by it. I know she didn't. You know, I really think parents just want the best for their kids?
Yeah.
And she was like, "What happened?" And it's like, "Mom, that was 2013. My life fell apart after that. Literally, like 2 months after that video, everything changed. We almost lost dad. And then we had to adjust with the new way of living with dad. And 2015 was okay, but then grandma's dementia got bad, and then grandpa's, you know, like from 2014, January of 2014 till even now, I've never gotten a break. And I mean, this is like early podcast. We've talked about this stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
I have not had a break. And like 2013 me would look at me and not be happy at all. She wouldn't be happy. But also, she had no clue what was right around the corner.
I really wish I could hug you right now.
I just wish I wasn't so upset about it. Because, I know that I can't regret how I survived. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I I really am trying to keep quiet. I don't want to wake mom up. Um, get it together. It's just like I said in that behind the archives. I am constantly mourning the chances and the choices I didn't make. Like it's just hard because I spend so much time wondering how life could be, and I know that's not the way to live, but I don't like how I'm living now either. So it's like stuck between a rock and a hard place. You can't go back and change things. I can't, rewind time and do everything different. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck now. I have to adjust. And I know I will. It's just right now, especially around this time, my birthday is always a really emotional time for me. Always has been. I'm just mourning things that I wish I had. And yeah, a way to bring the podcast down.
No, you're fine. You gotta let it out, you know? This is a
Oh,
safe space.
I know. And it's just, and I keep saying, because I'm telling you, kids are popping up everywhere.
Oh my god, I know. I am so pissed. So my old coworker
Yeah.
Jeff, right, just had a new baby.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, why are babies popping up literally all over my fucking Facebook? Like, everyone's having
Yeah.
kids. I didn't even know he was with anybody. Probably
Right.
isn't, but I don't know. I was like,
Right.
oh, she's cute. Like,
Right.
stop, because I want a kid and this is not helping.
Right. And being completely transparent. Um, I'm probably gonna have to force myself to stop character AI because it's not helping. The escapism isn't helping like I hoped.
Oh my god, Mike's obsessed with Chat GPT now.
It's fun. I'm making OCs left and right. But also, when you start using it as a coping mechanism, it can get a little blurry. And I don't think it's helping. But also, the idea of giving up what little escapism I have.
Right?
Like, god damn it, I got like freaking six ass kids between freaking four OCs right now. Like, I'm sorry.
Stop having kids. Why are we like bunnies? What is going on? AI, stop!
I got two husbands. I got two husbands who love me, damn it.
I got 6 kids between the two.
Well, never mind. I was gonna say it's supposed to be seven, but whatever. 4 and 3.
Jesus Christ.
Mom told me she wanted 4 originally, but then had to settle for 2 because dad went and got the snip without telling her.
Oh my god, it's normally the opposite. Normally the wife's like, nah, you're getting snipped, bitch.
Nope, nope. He was like, "No." After Cody, he was like, "No." I knew this story, mind you. It's just she confessed about the 4,
That's
wanting
funny.
4. She was gonna have them 2 years apart.
Oh my
2, 4,
god, that
6,
is
8.
opta-fucking-mystic.
Right? Yep,
Sheesh.
yep.
I
Especially with yeah.
And then Mike's mom keeps bringing up random people having kids. Like, dude, it's not like we're not trying. I don't know if I can have kids.
Yeah,
Like, it's fine. I'll just have fur babies, I guess. Or I'll adopt. I don't know. It depends.
right.
But,
But yeah, so I'm probably gonna wanna cry about it again, but I'm already tearing up again. But, you know, it's that whole thing, like, I do not regret the life choices I have made. I regret more what I didn't do, and I guess
that's
that's
fair.
harder. I guess that's worse because, people who regret things they've done, it's usually because, like, oh, like, something dumb, like, I got arrested in Aruba for, skinny dipping, or
Yeah.
I got a ticket for drunken intoxication or public intoxication.
It's always like
But
petty, stupid shit.
yeah, but and I want to say it, but I don't want to discourage your choices, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say what I'm thinking?
Yes.
I had this conversation with my brother, and it's like, I have a part of me, obviously, that would love to have kids and be a wife and XYZ. But in the world we live in, I don't necessarily understand doing it, at least for me. Like, if my friends choose to have kids, if my friends choose to get married, if my friends choose X, Y, or Z, I will give as much love as I can to those things for them. I will give my love elsewhere, you know?
Hmm.
Like, regardless if they're fur or human, your kids are getting spoiled. But, it's like, it's very hard to be a I guess if you wanna go hopeless romantic, but also a realist.
Yeah.
It's really hard when you grew up knowing how dark the world is, and, like, I don't know, like, I see people who choose to do those things as much braver than I am, because I can't let go of the cynicism. I can't let it my cynicism break enough to let myself have those things, I guess, is what I feel.
That makes sense. I mean, I don't know. You never say never. You could meet the love of your life like
We
next
keep
year.
saying that, we keep saying
Babe,
that. I've been on dating apps since 2018.
dating apps don't fucking do shit. They just want to hook up.
Yeah, but I also the only person at work who is even in my age range is Dumpling and M.
That's fair.
There is a 19-year-old who called me sugar, and I told him straight up to his face, "I am much too old for you to call me that." He's a very sweet he's a very sweet kid. He lives literally on my street. He's very sweet. Um, I can already tell he is a troublemaker though, oh my god. Do you just know the ones that are like, they get themselves into a lot of trouble?
Yeah.
He's got that, like, Young Gravy thing going with the
Oh
hair and
my
shit.
god. Okay. Is he also trying to fuck moms?
I think so, honestly.
I mean, I don't see a problem with that. But
He's 19, it's his life. I'm just saying, like, he's a good kid. He's really a good kid, but, like, I can just tell he gets himself into trouble. And every time he goes down the street on his little motorcycle, his little dirt bike, I just wave from my window as he passes by. Good kid, anyways. Oh god. Okay. I'm feeling very depressed, but like let's talk about the love children we have in our brains.
Yes.
Okay. So welcome to the OC lounge.
I like that.
Um we have a selection of OCs on sale.
Who would you
I don't
like
know.
to buy? There's one for everybody.
I can't wait to explain how really Delaney and Doris are the only ones who are not golden retrievers and why that is. I can't wait. So, how about do you want me to list which ones I'm going to talk about and you pick so I don't have to like go by chronological order, or do you want to talk about the ones we share in common first?
We can talk about the ones we share in common first.
Okay, we're gonna get into it. This is um this is our babies. We literally have called these two characters our babies since 2013.
Hmm.
So my OC is Delaney Rhodes
Mine is Daniel. I can't remember his last name.
Smith.
Smith? Really? I was boring. That's basic. I hate it. Can we change it?
You can change it,
That's
yes.
such a boring ass last name. The fuck was wrong with me?
Adkinson,
Oh,
Daniel
I
Adkinson,
like that's see, that sounds like a fucking PI name right there.
or Richardson.
No, I like Atkinson.
Adkinson.
Yeah.
Adkinson. Okay. We're changing it as we go. I've already changed them so much. It's not even
I
funny.
mean, we both changed.
We have. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Like, do we want to tell backstories? Do we really like we can put pictures and stuff later.
Yeah, so I have to redraw them because we changed. She changed hair color. I changed
Yes,
I changed reference all the fucking together.
true.
So Daniel is supposed to look like Matthew Currency. I can't pronounce his last name. Anyway,
I
Logan
it's
from Gilmore.
Polish.
That
It's
makes
Polish.
sense. That makes sense.
Yes.
Logan from Gilmore Girls, because my god, is he one fine piece of man. Anyway, he's got that smile, he's got that smirk, he's got that sass. It works. All
It
right.
works.
He was originally the guy who plays Damon from Vampire Diaries, but
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I feel like yeah, I feel like that is very early 20s.
Yes. Don't get me wrong, Damon's still pretty and all, but
Yes, but
we gotta change with the times. So now it's funny because we're both blondes.
yes, we're both blondes
I
now.
just realized
Blonde
that.
couple. Blonde power couple.
I just realized that.
And I have Delaney still portrayed by Deborah Ann Wool, who played Jessica in True Blood. That's how I knew her firstly. And she also plays Karen Page in The Punisher and Daredevil on Netflix. I'm specifically going with her Karen Page look, which
Hmm.
is blonde, like just like kind of strawberry blonde, but more blonde than red, like when she plays Jessica,
Hmm.
which she was originally the red hair.
It's fine.
Um, yeah. So you go.
Oh, so Daniel comes from well, I call him Danny. That's just his nickname. Okay, we're just gonna call him
Yes.
Danny now.
Yes.
Danny comes from a very prestigious household. He's got an
Mhm.
older sister,
Mhm.
and
Annabelle.
yeah, I forgot. We changed Annabelle too. I forgot the actress's
Yes, I
name.
don't remember to who, but
I'll insert photo here anyway.
yes. Yes.
um, because he comes from such a fucking annoying Richie boy
Richie
family.
Rich. Yeah.
He tends to try to push his father's buttons. So he
Yes.
rebels against everything. Like he was they're PIs, right?
Mhm.
But Danny originally started in the police department with his
Yes.
his father's the captain anyway, besides the point. So Danny starts, being his fuck himself, his smart ass, witty, I don't live by anyone's rules.
Yep.
And he says, fuck this, I'm done living under your shadow. I'm outie because this place is corrupt. Peace.
Yes.
Uh but when he did
Peace.
but when he did that, he cut himself off of daddy's money. So he
Yeah.
he ends up living in a motel and asking his sister for help.
Ah, the
And,
George Tucker. The
and
George Tucker of it all.
Annabelle can't say no because she loves her younger brother, but
He does.
he looked rough. He stopped caring for himself.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
pretty much his backstory. He's just, rebellion.
Yeah. He had a more tragic one, but we changed it.
Yeah, I didn't want to be too dark.
Would you like to explain briefly the dark history?
Do you want to explain? You do it better than I
Um,
do. I would just be so vague about it.
okay, so basically we're okay. Originally, he had actually put his father in prison. He had exposed his father and the corruption, got his father in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Um, his father happens to have ties, and this still is true, even though he did not put his father in prison. His father still had ties to Dell's parents.
Why we changed that again?
I don't remember, but I think we're gonna keep it actually.
Yeah, why we change
Um,
that? That's perfect.
but there was like a very tragic kind of like love story there for Daniel. His first love or first affection or obsession, if you will, because it's played different ways depending on who writes it.
Yeah, who you ask?
Samantha
Mm-hmm.
died in the line of duty due to a mistake that Daniel made. Tragic.
So
That's really
you can say he has trauma, walls up,
trauma.
trauma when
Trauma.
it comes to relationships because he's afraid he's gonna fuck it up.
Oh yeah, which oh god,
You know what?
so
Yeah, let's
good.
not cut any of that out. I like that.
I think the only thing we really wanted to change is that maybe it was more of like an obsession than like an actual like it was like friends with benefits, like coworkers with benefits, but he got caught
He
up in
got
it with more.
attached. Ooh.
Yeah.
And she was like,
I
nah, fam. And then
Oh
dies.
god, oh shit. But that's gonna cause oh okay, yes, we need to keep it. Okay.
Hi, welcome to us pondering our question.
Yep.
We're
Our
writing. We're
OCs.
writing here now.
We're writing here. We are writing. Oh my god. Okay. So a little I have more of a backstory. I don't know if I want to keep what used to be her backstory. I will tell her original and then I will tell her updated. Her original backstory was that when she was a senior in high school, her high school love of her life like was going to be her high school sweetheart. She planned on marrying this boy. Um died and she was left like mangled basically like her knees were just f the frick up by a quote unquote random attack, which was actually an attack planned by Daniel's father as kind of a not a bargaining chip, that's not the right word, like a warning to her parents, basically telling them to behave. Um, and after that, she falls into like a deep depression. Her mother, like, goes kind of coco loco, and her father ends up. If I want to say I originally had him like killing himself, and then the mother like kills herself. I don't remember. It's been a while. But, like, they basically both like, the marriage dissolves, the partnership dissolves, like, she is left alone. She has her best friend and her cat Magnus. That is it, until, Daniel shows up, it's a whole thing. However, I think I like the new backstory better. Um, at least parts of it. So, when she is growing up, her mother is mayor of the town and is taking bribes from Daniel's father, who is in the neighboring town. Her father, Dell's, bleh, Dell's, Dell's father is also carrying out whatever favors need taken upon them by Daniel's father. So basically, everyone is working for Daniel's father behind the scenes. Serenity, which is her best friend, and Cole, which is her other childhood best friend, they have all three lived next to each other since they were kids,
Mm-hmm.
grew up together, they're best friends. Their parents are also part of the police force. Serenity's father is a lieutenant. Cole's father is like a department manager, basically, or evidence. He works like evidence, if I remember correctly. And Serenity's mother is actually a journalist, which is it's going to lead to some fun things. Um, Anyways, corruption. Dell has to grow up being the perfect model daughter. No toe out of place. She's the mayor's daughter. She's the police, you know, lieutenant's daughter. She can't be who she is.
Mm-hmm.
This leads her to being kind of high strung. Um, she's a high achiever. She doesn't take bullshit. Um, and she does not like to be viewed as weak or emotional, which is the complete opposite you will learn of any of my other characters. And it's my favorite thing to struggle with because I don't know what that's like. Um, in this one, Daniel's father puts out a hit on Dell's family because her mom and dad try to get out of the corruption. They are working with Serenity's mother to try to expose Daniel's father. He puts a hit out on them. The the hitmen take out her parents and try to kill her unsuccessfully. Like they burn down her house and she escapes. Like they tried, but failed. Um, so she is an orphan. She moves in with Cole. They start a relationship, and it is the only time that she lets herself be needy, and she hates it. She clings to him. She can't live without Cole. She doesn't know what to do, and she hates it. This is getting very in depth, by the way.
No,
I'm sorry.
it's fine.
Um, so basically, for like a period of like maybe a year, as she is healing from all of her injuries, because they do try to kill her before lighting her house on fire. So she's like recovering. Her knees are effed up, her ankles, they do a bunch of shit. Um, she is just dependent on Cole and Serenity to an extent. And then she recovers and she's like, I'm going to join the police force and fight this from the inside. Until she realizes not only can she not, because physically she can't, no, she wants to be better than the police force. She's going to go in the private sector and decides to be a private investigator. Cole hates this because he has decided he's going to fight the corruption from the inside and be just like his father. Mind you, his father is also corrupt. He just doesn't want to accept it. So it causes a rift between them, which ultimately lets her finally get out of her codependent cycle. Serenity joins her mother in journalism to fight corruption from a journalistic standpoint. So basically, even though they are best friends, they are all on two different sides. They still meet up, and I did this for you. They meet up once a week for dinner and act as if it's still like high school days. Just friends meeting up for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets complicated when she decides to take on a certain fellow named Daniel. Because at this point, everyone knows that Daniel's father ruined her life, ruined
Mm-hmm.
everybody's life. But she's very much a believer in like don't judge a book by its cover because guess what? She's not the perfect model daughter either. She's done shit. And she takes him on as her partner at her PI agency.
More like forces him to come.
Well, yes, she literally comes to his
It's
hotel room, knocks
like,
on the door.
God, what happened to you?
What happened? Um, she literally tells him where to meet her, which is at a small business gala that's being held at the town hall. And that's just kind of where it all starts.
Hmm.
And I mean, I don't feel like too much is going to change honestly with the
No.
trajectory. Um they end up together. They end up happy eventually.
It's a fucking wild ride, though.
It's a wild ride. Oh, do you remember the second half of the story that I started? What happened?
I'm not gonna
Do
lie to you, slightly.
Okay, so basically, end of the first end of the first thing, they decide to just be friends. Like business partners, friends, close friends, but like they're not going to date. Obviously, they're still way too affectionate to just be friends.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um they're going to therapy because of all of the events of the first series of events. And the therapist is like, "Hey, you have a really you love your boundaries. Why is he the exception?" And of course, Dell is like, "Well, F you. I don't have to, I pay you. I'm leaving." And she leaves. Um, and she finds out that she's pregnant. I don't know if you remember this plot point.
Oh my god, yeah, I do.
Yes, she finds out she's pregnant. Unfortunately, she loses the baby. Um, it's if I remember correctly, it's actually supposed to be because she uh like falls, which at that early of pregnancy wouldn't really do that, but like for story's sake, um, they're like chasing a suspect. She like falls down a flight of stairs, chasing them. It's a whole thing. She kept it from him. He finds out. It's a whole thing. Very, very emotional. It's
Hmm.
beautiful. Anyways, um, but yeah, I don't. I think the reason why Dell stands out so much to me is that she's like a this is gonna be like a terrible analogy. She's like the rusty pocket knife of my characters.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I had to
You're
shift.
fine. She she's blunt. She's definitely rusty when it comes to like human interaction. Um she's opposite of me, which I have a really hard time writing, if I'm 100% honest. They say write what you know. I don't know what it's like to be detached. Um, but she is so close to my heart.
Hmm.
She is a piece of me. I just don't think I've discovered which part she is. That sounded really, really corny.
No. It's the part you wish you could let loose, but you don't.
Probably. Probably. But yeah, so that's those babies. Um, and really the only babies I will be mentioning of mine that are complete OCs of like an original universe. But that does not mean that the others are not valid because they are the ones that got me out of a 5-year writing slump.
Hmm.
So, okay, you next. Tell me about the one you haven't told me about.
Oh, Arlo?
Yes.
Okay, so Mike had a. I have to credit him, okay?
Mhm.
Mike had a really, really, really weird dream. And he told me about it. And I was like, dude, I want to. This is going to be a fucking book. Like, I need to write this.
Right.
So It's a
I'm so excited.
post-apocalyptic world, of course, where
Mhm.
AI
Oh, love it. Great.
rules over everything.
Great. Love
Mainly
this.
mainly the jury, like the legal
Judge.
system, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the AI is called the judge.
Okay.
Um, hold on, sorry. I have
That's
to
great. You're okay.
it okay, so everyone is required to come to jury duty,
Mhm.
right? As it is normally.
Yes.
But but in order to do it, you have to be put under, like, you've seen Divergent, right? Like where they give
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
the shot and like you hallucinate shit.
Mhm.
That
Mm.
before you
Okay.
can see if you are worthy enough to be on this trial, or if honestly if you need to be on trial.
Right.
It's how you would handle like a murder situation, right?
Right.
So Arlo, my boy Arlo, my poor boy Arlo, he is a schizophrenic,
Okay.
um a loner of a guy. He is 35, lives on his own in a very, very small, shitty apartment.
Mhm.
Can't afford medicine
Gotcha.
because fuck that. The way they do medicine for like mental mental shit in this world
Yeah.
is they call it getting fixed.
Mhm.
Like, they chip you. They pretty much chip you to
Mhm.
rewire all of your hormones and pretty much turn into a zombie, right?
Right.
So Arlo's like just trying to fucking live his best life as he can. He works a really shitty fucking trash pickup job.
Mhm.
He gets paid fucking absolutely nothing. His family all like pretty much just owned him other than his brother Sam,
Mhm.
who he constantly asks for money from
Yeah.
because he needs to live. And Sam does it because like it's his brother, right? But his Sam's wife is constantly giving him shit about helping his pretty much worthless deadbeat
Right.
sick brother, right?
Right.
So Arlo gets Arlo gets fucking called in to be judged, right? He's
Yes.
got to be on a jury duty, but he's got to go through this process first. And of
Mhm.
course, he's schizophrenic, so he's got two voices in his head.
Right.
One is Dark Arlo. I don't know what I'm going to name him yet, but it's Dark Arlo, where, the impulsive,
Mhm.
super
Okay.
paranoid fucking
Uh-huh.
voice, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then you have Light Arlo, which is, once again, don't know the name yet, is
Right.
his like more cautious side where he's like, no, we don't need to freak out just yet. You need to just, it might just be a coincidence, you know? But Dark Arlo
Mhm.
seems to always fucking win.
Right.
And of course, Arlo is just like, shut the fuck up, both of you. I can't fucking think.
Right.
So the premise is he gets stuck in this fucking simulation where he actually murders somebody.
Oh
Um,
shit.
but he thinks this is all real, right? He doesn't know he's in the simulation still. He thinks it's real. He thinks
Right.
he legitimately killed somebody.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that's all gonna be like the first book, where it's like
That's
working at
awesome.
story building, and
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing.
the second one is where he's
So
gonna be
exciting.
escaping. The third one is like, I don't know yet, but it's gonna be a trilogy. It's gonna take me a while to write it, but I'm so excited because like
That's
I
awesome.
love it.
That's
Poor
awesome.
poor fucking Arlo actually thinks he killed somebody, but now because
Right.
he killed somebody in the simulation, he is a wanted man. He hasn't actually done it,
Right.
but the fact that
That's
he did it in there,
right. That's amazing. That's
yeah.
awesome. So exciting. It sounds like I'm being sarcastic. I'm not.
No, I know.
I was I was like, I sound like I am so unenthused, but no, I am like excited. Okay. That is really awesome. I guess, we could do a quick just round of like characters we have vaguely worked on
Mhm.
just to like prove the fact that I can write original characters and original storylines. Um, we have Violet and Bailey, um, which happened in like a high school prom turned world apocalypse um
Mhm.
story. Violet is like the popular girl who just wants to get out of her small rundown shithole of a town. Bailey is, well, I shouldn't talk for you. Who is Bailey? Do you remember?
Bailey is the complete fucking opposite.
Yes,
A rebel bitch who doesn't care if she lives here or not.
correct.
She's just doing her own thing.
And yep, sure is.
Anarchy. If you can,
Anarchy.
if you can tell,
Anarchy.
if you can tell,
Yes.
I like anarchy and rebels apparently, because like all of them so far have been.
Yes. It's that inner part of you that just wants to F shit up. Um, Violet also suffers from mysterious migraines that happen to be linked to the apocalypse that her parents, which is also Bailey's parents, they're sisters, happen to start. Yes.
Hmm.
That's really as far as that went. There's also a girl who named Blair who is seemingly immune to whatever is happening around them. So, not very original, but it was fun while it lasted.
I remember it only lasted like,
It lasted like 3 RP sessions and then we were
yeah,
done.
and they were like, fuck this.
Yes. Um, there was also Harley, June, Johnny, like 50 other characters. But the main ones were Johnny, June, and Harley.
Oh my
Also
god,
Rita
I remember
and
now.
Paul. Rita and Paul's love story was just so good there. I did so good with them. Anyways, so basically, Harley is a mysterious. Also, that sound I made is going to sound really embarrassing over mic. I just realized.
No.
Anyways, oh yeah, it's gonna. Um, Harley is like a mysterious stranger who came to this very, very small town. I'm talking like 300 people in the middle of the woods, small town, uh, 3 years before the events of the story. She literally just shows up one day. The bartender, who also happens to kind of be like the welcoming committee, befriends her, lets her work at the bar.
Hmm.
She becomes friends with the local librarian who takes her in. Um, and she becomes a radio DJ and meets Johnny and June, twins.
Hmm.
Um, Johnny is obviously he's the love interest for Harley. It's very cute. Um,
As soon as you started talking about it, it like all came back to me.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That one would be fun to redo
Hmm.
and do it way darker than we had done it before because this it was a murder mystery.
Yes.
Harley's past is basically after 3 years coming to get her and is targeting every person that has connections with her in town, which is basically everybody. Because not only is she the town DJ, she works at the local bar, she is friends with the local librarian and the local bartender. So, she's kind of attached to everybody. Everybody's in danger. Um, and I can't remember if I kept this backstory, but basically my backstory was when she was in high school, a high school senior. She was on the newspaper and she happened to report about one of the teachers who she thought was just sleeping with students, but
Hmm.
he was actually murdering the students that he was sleeping with. And when he figures out it's her who catches him putting one of the girls in his car one night, um, he might just have killed his her entire family other than her and her older sister. So basically, I believe she had a younger brother and her mom and dad. It was only her and her big sister that escaped. They went under self-imposed witness protection and decided that they could not stay together because that would be too big of a risk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she goes to the small town in the middle of nowhere. She basically just throws a dart and goes where it lands. Her sister does the same. And right before the events of the book, if you will, um, her sister finds her because they went no contact, did not tell each other where they were going, what their new names were going to be, nothing. Um, and her sister finds her and stays with her, and she is murdered while Harley is on air.
Yes, I
Yes.
remember.
So, like, oh God, now I really want to rework this. Oh
Why
God,
don't
shit.
we?
We need to. We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
I
We'll
can
work
take
on it
over some
because
characters for you. Shit.
it needs to be a lot tighter than it was because we had like 12 characters.
Yeah, we need to like cut. We need to cut some out.
Oh, remember Catherine,
Oh
who
my
was
god.
Paul's high school, like, no, not high school, college sweetheart. Um, and then Anton, who was Paul's half brother.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. No. We need to recut. We need to
Oh my
recast here.
God. Lorelai and Rory, which I don't know why we let that slide.
Yeah. Why'd you let me do that?
I didn't know what Gilmore Girls was at the time. But like Rory was played by Megan Fox, and she was just a bitch, a raging bitch. And Lorelai was this like crunchy mom.
I'm sorry. What did I do to
I still have the Tumblr page if it didn't completely deactivate. I
them?
still have it.
Oh yeah, we used Tumblr.
We use Tumblr. We
I
use Tumblr, baby.
remember because we were doing it like our entries as like
Mm-hmm.
diary entries, kind of.
Uh-huh. I
Oh,
have full ass bios on there, baby.
oh
We
my
wouldn't have to start
god.
from scratch.
Oh my
Oh
god.
God.
It's all coming
I
back to me.
I'm I feel excited for something.
We need to
For
start doing it. We
I
need
think
to
we
set
can.
aside a day of a week and just do it.
We need to just like find time to work both though, because we can't abandon one for the other.
No, no,
We have
no.
we have too many stories. The zombie can that's fine. That was a time. Murder mysteries though. I think that's our bread and butter. Oh my god. Oh my god. Now I am like overwhelmed by how much I want to rewrite this.
Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I don't
Oh my
care.
god.
Let's do
Let's do it.
it.
Okay. Okay. So that was a way longer. There's tons others. I've made so many just random OCs. There was like a romantic drama. Her name was Rebecca
Mm-hmm.
and her love interest was Glenn. They were childhood love like I hate saying lovers because that's really gross for children, but teenagers, freaking whatever. Um, but they were like soulmates, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
her parents were like the town drunks, and she was on her way to being the town drunk, and he was trying his damnedest not to let her go down that path. Well, one day, she passes out. I believe it was drunk after like a test. Like she partied for passing a test to get out of town or whatever.
Yeah.
And her parents took her little sister, her baby sister, and they all three died in a car accident because they were driving drunk. And she cannot forgive herself. So she runs away, leaving Glenn heartbroken because he was willing to put in the work for her. He
Mm-hmm.
was willing to help her. He was willing to be with her forever. And she comes back like 15 years later. She's got this nerdy ass husband who doesn't love her. He's like clinical and just kind of gross. She has twin daughters. Um Addison Grace and Avery Ray. I remember their names.
What was up with us and twins?
Well, twins run in my family.
Same. That might be it.
Yeah. I think I'm actually supposed to be the generation that would be next. If I were to have children, I'd have a higher because it skips a generation.
Me too, but
So
after you turn 30, it goes down, like the
true.
percentage wise. So that's why I
Yeah.
made it
So
anyway.
um, but basically, like even though she's married, it's a bad marriage. They've already had, like, counseling. It's a whole thing. It's like a true, like, Harlequin romance thing. I was trying my damnedest.
Yeah.
Um, like, Glenn he's kinda being a little bit of a homewrecker. Oh, there's it is still the best. Oh my god, I want to, like, post this snippet. It might be mediocre to some, but it is still the best goddamn piece of writing I've ever written in my life. He is, like, basically confronting her about, like, like, we were both effed up. Like, I had my own problems, his mom was, like, dying of dementia, and his father was a mess.
Hmm.
So he was trying to keep his family going. At the same time, she's an alcoholic, her parents are alcoholics. Her little sister, she's trying to do better for her, but she's failing miserably. Like, their other best friend, Mitzi, is, like, from the other side of the tracks. Like, everyone thinks she's trash. Like, they all had their own problems, but they had each other kinda thing. And he's basically, like, teasing her, like, basically saying, like, I know exactly what makes you tick. Does your husband?" And, like, I was like, "Okay, well, apparently 21-year-old me was really good at thinking up some lines, because still one of the best passages I have written
Yeah.
in my life. If I can find it, I will send it. It's probably mediocre as hell now, but I remember just being like, "This is the best thing I've ever
Ever
written."
written? Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god." Anyways, okay, so that's all the OOCs, like, the original OCs. Which of the, 4 or 5 others do you want, like, the first OC, which is technically an original but kind of inspired by, like, vampire stuff? Or do you want, like, the My Hero ones or the Resident Evil ones?
I don't think do you want to choose like one from each one?
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
I know it's hard, but
Yeah.
we're at an
Uh,
hour and
yeah.
16.
Okay. I will just mention Echo. Okay, so Echo was my very, very first OC. I wrote her story from freshman year to senior year. Um, she was a vampire hunter. Why did my Bixby just go off when I said vampire?
It's listening. It's like we know you like vampires.
I'm like, okay.
It's
Anyways.
gonna send one to you right now.
Oh, great, please don't do that. But basically she's a vampire hunter. Her senior, excuse me, and I'm gonna revamp this one. I've had plans for this one for years. She met the love of her life. I know, kids meeting their love of their life. I was a teenager. Give me a break. Um, basically, like, it's prom night. We all know what kids do in prom night. They're about to take their relationship to the next level. He has been turned. She does not know this. He tries to turn her. She at the time does not know she's a vampire hunter. So when he tries to turn her, it almost kills her. Because basically it's like a detonator, or a, what's it called? A one kill switch? A
Yeah,
kill
yeah,
switch?
yeah. Like a kill switch.
Yeah, like, if a vampire hunter is to be turned, it will just instantly kill them, which seems kind of shitty, but whatever. Um, so her family reveals to her that she's from a long line of vampire hunters and witches. Like, all of her friends and family are actually, like, mythical in some way.
Hmm.
Like, her best friend is a shapeshifter. It's a whole thing. But basically, it's kind of a love story at the end. Like, they end up together because it wasn't his fault. Like, he was turned by, like, this bitch who, like, wanted to make a freaking army. Like, it's a whole thing. So that's my first one. Worked on it for 4 years. She was my project in high school. Um, okay, so okay. Rita and Doris go together because their stories can't go without the other.
Hmm.
And I won't talk, I'll just mention the Hannah, or Hannah, and um give me a second here. Sora are my AI ones. They're just for fun. they're not really that serious. They don't really they have sad plot points, but they're not as serious as the rest. So they are to the side. So what is left is Kaede or Kaine. I don't really know the proper
I like
pronunciation.
kind of. Oh my god, I can't even say it. The first way you said it.
Kaine, Kaede.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the proper, but I remember it being from Inuyasha, Kaede, Lady Kaede, not Lady Kaede. So I'm going with Lady Kaede. That pronunciation. Her name's not Lady, it's just Kaede.
Just kidding.
Um, so she's the one who really, really got me out of my writing slump in 2020. She is a My Hero OC. She is a UA student. Her quirk is emotional manipulation. Basically, if she has felt it, she can make somebody else feel it to an extreme,
Which is great.
which is great when you shower that character with so much goddamn trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So her backstory is basically when, since she was a kid, her dad was a PI. Her mom was a stay-at-home mom, but she also did legal work basically from home. And she is insanely curious. Like they cannot keep her out of anything. She wants to know everything. She wants to be everything. And when she is like 6 or 7, she is visiting her dad at the cafe that is in the building where his office is, waiting for him to get off work when the cafe is robbed. And
Mm-hmm.
she, being the brave little girl she is, her little justice self, stands in between the robber and the cashier to protect the cashier from the robber. And the robber, of course, like tries to stab her
Of course. Like, fuck this little
and
kid.
basically slices her from like her collarbone to like her shoulder. Like she got a big gash. Um, but she doesn't even flinch. She doesn't cry. She just stays where she's put out. Wow, that's a not
Yeah.
she is staying put is what I meant until a racerhead or I mean Azawa, whatever. If you know, you know. Comes across the scene, stops the robber, and basically kind of gives her shit like, "Oh, you're going to be a handful when you grow up, aren't you? You're going to be one of those heroes, aren't you?" And she's like, "No, I'm going to be like my dad." Because she doesn't want anything to do with heroes.
Yeah.
Her dad's the hero because heroes like to hide things, which is true if you are into the My Hero like hero society is corrupt as hell. Um and he's like, "Okay." He respects it because in the manga anyway, he's pretty underground himself. He doesn't agree with a lot of what hero society stands for.
Mm-hmm.
So she grows up and when 1 week after her 13th birthday, um there's a theme of people coming and killing families in my backstories. I'm sorry. Um her father is investigating a ring that is um distributing a drug called Trigger, which basically makes people's quirks like go out of control. So it's super dangerous. And they find out that he is tracking them and decide to like take care of him themselves. And her and her best friend Yuki are having a sleepover that night,
Mm-hmm.
and in her fear, her quirk malfunctions and she accidentally kills her best friend. How, you may ask? So you know how like when you're angry, if you go under I think it's an MRI, like you can see the different points of your body's temperatures change?
Yeah.
Or if you're sad, like you get very blue, you get very cold in some places. Basically, my idea was that if our emotions can cause temperature changes, they can probably cause kinetic energy. So basically, what happened was in her terror of what was going on, the kinetic energy released in a burst which thus basically gave her best friend blunt force trauma and killed her.
Yeah.
So she gets sent away and basically locked up in like a mental asylum for 2 years. until she is 15, when the principal of UA decides that he wants to use her as an example and get her out of there, but on the rules, I guess, that she is going to show how good UA is for Hero Society.
Mhm.
She's gonna show like, "Oh, look, we can rehabilitate the worst of the worst. Like, fear no more. Like, there will be less villains if you continue to support Hero Society, basically." So she's desperate. She wants out because she shouldn't be there in the first place. It's not her fault. She blames herself immensely. Um, but she doesn't deserve to be there. So she takes the chance and enrolls in UA.
Mhm.
And from there, it's just like a lot of like she makes friends with everybody. Um M's character gets really involved in this, which is why I haven't worked on her in a very long time. But essentially, like she learns to control her quirks because technically she has two. Um she eventually tries to right the wrongs that have been caused. Um and she falls in love. You know, I'm a hopeless romantic. I always got to fall in love. I can't help it. Which is ironic because guess who doesn't really fall in love? Doris doesn't really get to fall in love. So, but yeah, so Kaede is like very, very close to me because she helped me get through so much of like early COVID.
Yeah.
And like I poured so much of like my anxieties and like fears and just like hopes and everything into her. Like she's very much like a chunk of who I am. Um and I love her very, very much. And she's adorable. She's truly adorable. She has to wear her heart on her sleeve because she really has no choice. Um,
Yeah, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
but yeah, I love her. She's great. Um, with M's character, she was greater, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. I'm still trying to work a way to make her great again. Great her. She's great on her own, but
There's always
yeah.
ways to improve.
Yeah. Okay. And last, because I worked on her the most in the last like year, or them, I should say, is Doris and Rita, who are in the Resident Evil universe. Amy's got to listen to their shit
I love
for
it.
a while. She says that.
I absolutely love it.
She says that. She doesn't really mean
Do I, bitch? I will fucking punch
it.
you.
Please make me feel something. Anyways, so it's Rita Phillips, which ironically I did not know there's a canon character already named Rita Phillips who is a police officer. Um, but I'm not changing her name this late into the goddamn game. And then there is Doris Steele. So Doris is more developed because Rita is kind of like her side character, if you
Hmm.
will. So, okay, I'm going to talk about my baby, little Doris. I love Doris because she is like the slightly softer, much, much, much more sarcastic asshole of Delaney.
I literally think it's Daniel and Delaney mixed together, and it's
It's
great.
basically their love child,
I
but
live
like
for it.
it's great. Okay, so Doris was born in Cedar, which is a neighboring town of Raccoon City. She moved to Raccoon City in shit, I don't remember what year it was. Anyways, when she was 10 years old.
Hmm.
She has an older brother who was 18 when she was born. So he is got his own life somewhere else. She doesn't even really think of him as a brother. That's how distant they are.
Yeah.
And her parents are researchers for Umbrella. Her mom works at the hospital, and her father works at the waste management disposal plant, whatever. It's 1,000 different titles. Anyways, the disposal plant. Um, and she has basically been raising herself since she was 10 years old when they moved to Raccoon City. Much like all the Raccoon City kids, if you think about it, because Sherry is actually a great example. Raccoon City and Umbrella came before anything else. And she basically says to herself, if nobody else is going to care for me, I'm just gonna do this shit and make life my bitch kind of. When she is a senior in high school, basically her first week actually, um, she has a weak moment and she tries to, we're just gonna say, off herself for better terms. And Rita, who happens to be a nurse at the hospital, finds her in the courtyard next to the hospital because she was trying desperately, basically in a weak moment, to have her parents acknowledge her just once.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they strike up a really fast friendship. It's really like it's intense. Like they go from being patient and, nurse to best friends in like a week. They basically see a lot of each other in each other. Um, and like Doris will be the first one to say that Rita saved her in more ways than just one. Um, about halfway through her senior year, she gets accepted to work as an intern at Raccoon Press as a journalist, and she starts there before she even graduates high school. Um, she is one of the first reporters to report the odd murders in the woods. Um, she's one of the first to report sightings of. I'm gonna be right back. I'm hearing some weird noises, and I
Okay.
also have to go to the bathroom. I will be right back.
Okay.
Okay, entertain them.
I it's, I don't know what to say. I always suck at doing this. So I'm painting my office tomorrow, which is very fucking exciting. It's gonna match my keyboard. It's gonna be pink and blue. I bought sun catcher things to hang from my ceiling because I think it's pretty, and Bee and Puppy Cat did it, so I'm gonna do it. I'm also gonna buy a bunch of streamers to stream up uh, uh, on my ceiling. Like, that matters. It really doesn't, but I wanted to look like Bee and Puppy Cat. They also had fake clouds that I kind of wanted, but everyone's telling me it was a waste of money, so I didn't get those. I'll post pictures eventually. I'm making my dream office. It's gonna be beautiful. However, the downside is it's right next to the bathroom, and we have one bathroom, so I'm gonna hear everybody shitting, and it's gonna be great when I'm working because I love hearing the sound of poop and people smelling bad. I don't know. I didn't really want that room to be my office, but it's fine. It's gonna be no. I'm just gonna yell at everybody when they poop because, like, God forbid, I don't want my office smelling like shit. Yeah, so that's a thing. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about really quick while she's gone, but I am out. That's all I got. I am tired though. Blah. I can't wait for her to hear all of that.
I am so curious, but anyways. All right. Um, okay. Whew, I feel better now. I had to pee very badly.
It's okay.
And I think it was just mom snoring.
Fair
Distorted
enough.
through headphones that sounded like a demon.
As it
Okay.
does.
As it does. Okay, so where was I? Um, shit. Okay, anyway, so start of um Raccoon City incident. Um, Rita actually goes missing for like the first 2 weeks before it starts and goes like AWOL. No contact. This is
Ah,
also late 90s, guys. It was much harder to keep track of people. But the night before the first events of the incident, She comes back and tells Doris to get the hell out of Raccoon City, to stop investigating things, that she's gonna get herself hurt. And Doris is like, "You can't just leave, come back, say that to me, and then expect me to do what you say. Like, regardless of how much I trust you, I'm not doing that."
Mm-hmm.
And Rita knows. It's basically hopeless. Um, and she's like, "Okay, like, I've done what I can, basically." Raccoon City incident happens. Um, I haven't really gotten that far, I'll be honest. It's hard. It's very, very hard to write over a week of events, let me tell you. Over 2, technically 3 different 4 games, if you count both outbreaks, which I do because I need them for plot devices.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but basically, they get separated in the police station. Um, Doris ends up locked inside with Leon, Claire, and Sherry. Um, and then Rita is on the outside and actually like hides away until Jill and Carlos's kind of situation. Um, Doris, like up until the very end, like the last fight against Birkin kind of end, sticks with Claire and Leon and Sherry. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to readjust.
You're okay. So basically she sticks with them until the very end, and she's like, "I have to go find Rita. I can't leave her here." And she finds Rita, leaves in the helicopter with Jill, Carlos, um, and then in my scenario, of course, it's Rita and her. Um, a little something about Doris is one of my favorite things I haven't gotten to write yet. Is she doesn't she just kind of identifies as like queer. She doesn't really care. Everyone's attractive to her.
Fair.
She doesn't have labels. She doesn't care. So like when Claire, because I'm kind of going a little off of like Dark Side Chronicles dialogue a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
than the remake. Claire basically says like, "Why are you following around this woman to Leon about Ada?" And I have this quip in my head where Doris is like, "Oh no, I get it. No, I get it."
You should do it. Absolutely.
um, I do have a little quip in there. Like she's like, "No, I get it." Um, but yeah, so she basically escapes with Jill, Carlos, and Rita. They become like vigilante journalists, basically. Trying to expose what happened in Raccoon City, any other organizations who are trying to start BOWs or events. Um, Rita gets involved in the incident that's part of shit. What movie? Vendetta? Yeah, Vendetta. The A virus.
Ah,
She gets
yes.
involved in that. Um, Doris loves to get herself into so much trouble. She ends up a part of the Tall Oaks incident, um, which is Resident Evil 6, Leon's first part, if you don't know. Um, and she meets up with Leon for a short period before getting knocked the frick out and ending up under observation for 3 months because she's been directly exposed to the C virus but did not have any adverse effects. And they don't know why. So basically, she then is on a watch list. Um, and then she gets herself involved. And I went all out. You know what? I said F it. Everyone's like, don't insert the character into too many events. You know what, bitch? This is my life.
I can do the fuck I please.
She is also a part of the Baker House incident. And also, technically, I had a point where she was going to be part of the like the village incident.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because she follows Ethan like a very annoying tick. because she sees him as like a very interesting friend, despite the fact that she knows something's up with him long before he does. Um, but like during the Baker incident, she actually gets a note from Rita because Rita has gone AWOL. She can't get a hold of her, and the last word she said, or the last phrase she said to her was, "You should vacation in Louisiana," which is code because they basically have like all these codes about like if they're in danger, and going on vacation is basically like I'm here. So she up puts her like out gets out of her normal life that she's had for a little bit. She moves everything. She gets a job in Louisiana at a paper and starts investigating and finds the Baker house incidents and decides to go investigate because she thinks that's where she is, which ironically is where she is. Um, because Rita got herself involved with Lucas Baker
Of
and
course.
the connections. Sorry, the connections. She got herself involved. Um, and like the little bit that I wrote of the seven scenario was actually really fun because you see Doris in her most advanced, like, I am done with this shitness.
Hmm.
Which is like fun because she still has this like piss poor attitude and like I cannot take this anymore, but she also has enough survival skills that she's not going to get herself killed.
Yeah. I can't wait
Um,
to read it.
I know I have to work on it again. I have to get off the AI shit. I have to stop. I have to actually write non basically just lovey-dovey romance shit. Stop living a fantasy for 5 freaking minutes. Um anyways, but yeah, she basically is like a very annoying tick in Ethan's side because he obviously is like, I just got to find my wife. And she's like, you realize there's like some more shit going on here? And he's like, I don't give a shit. I want my wife. And she's like, okay. Like, I like you. You don't deserve to die here. I'm going to make sure you get out of this, but I'm also going to get answers. I'm going to save my best friend. Um, and she does. But then I don't really know how 8 happens, but there was like a plot where she might fall in love with uh shit, what is her name? God damn it. What is her name? Beneviento?
Really?
Like she goes undercover as like a apprentice to her to try to get information about what's going on there, and she actually like falls for her,
Ah,
and like Heisenberg knows that she's up to something. So they have like this really like good antagonistic back and forth.
wait though. How is she gonna feel about Ethan murdering?
And that's exactly it, right?
Oh
Mhm.
no.
And also because she's close to Ethan, Heisenberg knows better than to actually just do what he wants, which is just get rid of her.
That's gonna be
Uh-huh.
interesting.
It's really interesting because Heisenberg knows that she's up to no good, but he's the only one who seems to see through her. But her feelings are real, which is the worst part.
I love it.
Ah,
I love it.
oh god. And like her look, I have a pick crew thing of her look during the village. She looks like a little porcelain doll.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
You know what? I want to send it to you right now so you can react
Yes.
on camera.
Do
Well,
it.
on model.
Unmodel. Do it. Do
On
it.
model.
I'm opening it on my phone right fucking now. Let's go.
Okay, I'm trying to find her. Help. Okay. Da, 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 da. My little Doris. I love her so much. Also, fun fact, she's named after my grandmother.
Oh my god, that's too cute.
I know.
Can I redraw her?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna redraw all of the ones you sent
I
me.
know.
I love
I
it.
know.
I love drawing.
I know you do. But yeah, so like Doris and Rita are also very close to my heart, but yeah, I I create OCs like the weather a lot of times. Um it really depends on when the mood strikes. Um excuse me. But yeah, I think the ones that really stick with me are usually the ones I put the most into. And like Doris has got so much. Like her parent, the like backstory about why her parents, should I just reveal it?
Yeah.
The reason her parents basically neglected and abandoned her is because her mother thought she was done with children after the older brother, and then when she got pregnant 18 years after her first kid, when she thought she was finally in the clear to follow her dreams and like her career, she ends up with Doris and basically uproots everything. So she has to wait until she's old enough basically to move to Raccoon City, um, because instead of being a part of the whole, like, creation of, like, everything about Umbrella, she waits until she basically thinks that Doris is old enough to take care of herself, um, to move them into Raccoon City. Yeah.
Crazy.
And I still haven't decided, like, if her dad did have a soft spot for her or if he didn't. I like the idea that he actually did feel regret about how he treated her, but, like, he got too caught into
Yeah.
everything. I just don't like the idea, like, truly, I don't like the idea of living parents, like, abandoning their child. I can't in real life, I can't imagine that. I just ugh,
No.
it disgusts me, honestly, I can't. Like, unless they're, like, murdering people, like, you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do, but, like, just kids being kids or being themselves, like,
Yeah, you can't just like fucking say
oh.
deuces.
But yeah, so, like, that's her parent, whole shtick, and that's why yeah. She has a very sad life, and she has trust issues, obviously, because of it.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
who wouldn't?
And also, I can't wait to start writing scenes with Sherry because Sherry is basically just a younger like, literally, I think she's 11 during the events of Raccoon City, so, like, they're only 7 years apart, and they're literally just basically umbrella kids, both neglected, just thrown to the streets, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to write their interactions because it's gonna be so cute.
They're gonna
Because
have this crazy ass bond.
I know, and the fact that I cannot find a way to work in a reason for her to be in Sherry's scenarios drives me nuts. I cannot figure out a reason why she would be in Estonia,
That's fair.
and it drives me nuts because nothing would make me happier than them meeting up again and just kicking ass together.
Yeah.
Nothing would make me happier. Like, it hurts that I cannot figure it out. But yeah. So, like, I have a lot of feelings about these characters. I have a lot of work to do. Um, but we do obviously have to wrap this up or we're gonna be here for years.
Did
Um,
fair? We can do another one though.
yeah, we can. I actually was just thinking that we have to talk about what the next round is gonna be. Because I don't think we went past or did we go past May? I don't remember.
We only have the first day of the first week in June
Okay.
plans, but for the rest of it now, we haven't gone.
Okay,
We're gonna have
so
to sit down and talk about it.
yeah, we're gonna have to have a brainstorming session. Um, I do think the idea of rewatching all of our old favorite like dance musical things might be kind of fun.
Agreed.
Um, and obviously we can revisit old topics. Like I would like to do the manga demographics game again.
Okay.
Um, and we still have to do but it would take time obviously and that's what we both are lacking
Like
these
yeah, we're
days
lacking time.
is watching an anime together and reacting to it.
Like, both of us never seen it before?
Like either that or one of our favorites. Like I've never seen No Game No Life. You've never
Oh,
seen.
baby, I don't know if you're ready for No Game No Life.
I'm probably not, but that was an example.
I love No
Um,
Game. Honestly, the first one that came to my mind was Jobless Reincarnation. But then again,
okay,
if I say you're not ready for No Game No Life, I don't think you're ready for
right.
Jobless Reincarnation.
And like you haven't, I don't think watched Jujutsu Kaisen.
Nope.
That one's really good. Um, but it gets so confusing. Like there's so many like techniques and like lore in it that it gets so over your head so fast, but it's so good. But yeah, basically like just a react either new to both of us. That would kind of be fun because that way we're both going to have different expectations going in.
Yeah, like so what we can do, because our last video, I had to clip out so many songs and I feel
Hmm.
so bad. What we could do
Right.
is I could record us watching the whole thing and like
Hmm.
only like clip in like the reaction parts. So it's not like a full
Right.
episode, you know what I mean? So we don't get copyrighted.
Right. Right. So like we could do that part and then if it since it'll be like a little shorter, we at the end we could just be like whether we would like
Continue to
recommend
watch,
it or
yeah.
continue to watch. Um,
Okay, here, how about this?
yeah.
So for the month of June,
Hmm.
well, no, because I have people coming in.
Yes, you do.
I forgot about that.
Which makes me wonder if we should just do maybe bi-monthly or a bunch like recording one day.
We could do a bunch of recording one day. Like we can make a whole day of it.
Yeah, we'll try to do that. We'll try to schedule that. Um, we'll have to get the topics ready. We'll try to work on that this week.
Why?
I
Okay,
have Tuesday off because then I'm on for Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be nuts.
back to my. Well, I can do Tuesday. I just would have to wait until after work.
Well, yeah. No, I get that.
But
I obviously get that.
how about this?
Hmm.
Because we're gonna be recording in advance. Why don't we
Hmm.
make the whole month of June, other than the first week, be a reaction to like do 3 animes, right? Like one from
Okay.
you, one for me, and then we'll just choose a random one.
Okay. I have an interesting one actually, but I would have to subscribe to a new streaming service.
What one?
Um, Oshi no Koi. It's on High Dive,
I
only High Dive.
I don't have high dive either.
Ah, dude,
Okay,
it's beautiful, but like, yeah.
so the one I'm gonna make you watch is you're gonna watch the first episode of Jobless Reincarnation.
Okay. Um, you can choose because I feel like they're two very different. You can either watch the first episode of Attack on Titan
Mm-hmm.
or the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Well, I don't think that's fair because I've watched a couple episodes of Attack on Titan before.
True. So I guess we're watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
Okay.
That
And
works.
I'm trying to think. I was trying to think if there was anything on a streaming site we already both have for an anime that we haven't watched
Hmm.
because that would be better than having to spend money, obviously. And
Yeah.
we don't want to spend money any more than we have to. Um, I have a list of 50,000. Why is this so hard? Like literally 50,000. Okay, that's a dramatic. I have 45 pins. That's I've already watched the first episodes of that. So that's a no. Oh, what if we watch the first episode of the Fruits Basket remake?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Because I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it.
We might get a little out of hand and start watching more, but that's fine.
I mean, just make a fucking whole ass 2 hours of us reacting. It's
Crying. It
fine. It's
literally
fine.
it'll be me sniffling and sobbing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a plan then.
Okay. So the month of June is going to be React month, guys.
Hell
Um
yeah.
yeah. So okay, we're going to wrap this up. It's gone on. We've had fun. We've had some laughs. We've had some cries. We have really ran the gambit today.
Yeah.
As always, I am Autumn, aka Firefly,
I am Monksy, aka Amy.
and this has been the Nerdy Archives.
Oh yeah, this is still week 3 of Autumn birthday month
Yes, it
We
is
didn't
week
mention
3.
that.
Yes, my birthday is in 10 days, guys. May 30th, 10 days.
I
Um, all right, be safe out there, guys. It's a crazy ass world.
Bye.
Bye.